Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Shudder Slaughterhouse. I'm Daniel. You're going to notice a new change in locale here. So normally I had the TV behind me, and I just have it on the Shudder TV and just play random movies back there. And in the past, because there's no money made on this channel. None of the, videos are monetized. There's no ads on them, nothing like that. And so typically, if the YouTube gods somehow picked up the images that were behind me, I'd get flagged. But it was always like, wasn't really like a strike. It was more just like hey, here's a copyright claim, but no problem. If you do try to make money off of this, we're gonna send it to these people. And I'm like, yeah, fuck off. I don't care. Like, I'm not making money on this. However, the last couple of videos I did, it came up partially blocked. And I've never had that before. Again, no strikes against me, but they're like, well, your videos may be, blocked in certain countries. And I'm an idiot because I was just like, who cares? Like, what countries are you gonna block me in? No, America. Turns out in my own goddamn country, they have blocked me. So, for any of those who maybe realized there wasn't a Shudder Slaughterhouse episode in the past few weeks, that's why, because they straight up fucking blocked me. Use your VPNs out there, people. Check out those previous reviews I did, or mini reviews. And speaking of mini reviews, I am back with another week of Shudder goodness that I watched. So let's just get right into it. The first one I want to talk about here is Jakob's Wife. This came out this year. It is a Shudder Exclusive. Yes, had to cheat to my notes for a second. The basic plot here is, it's Barbara Crampton married to, I always butcher this guy's last name, Larry Fessender. Fessender. Dude's awesome. He's an underground horror director, big time independent guy. Always seems like he guest stars in other people's movies too. He was in Your Next, Jugface, and something else. I don't know. Dude's just brilliant. But anyways, beside the point, he's a minister, and he's the minister's, or she's the minister's wife. However, you can just kind of tell that she is just not. She feels kind of trapped, I think, in her current life, However, she encounters a vampire, and of course, this changes things drastically. However, she really embraces this change, and it kind of threatens, Larry a little bit. I forget the character's name, but, Jakob. Fucking Jakob's wife, so there you go. It literally kind of threatens his life right here. His life's pretty stable, and of course this kind of throws a monkey wrench into it. And not only does it throw a monkey wrench into his life, but my God, the neighborhood pays for it too, because now the bodies are starting to pile up. So I want to get out of the way right now. This is not much of a horror film. Yes, there's vampires and gore, but it feels more like a cross between like a marriage drama and it's like a metaphor, women's empowerment. Like, yeah, she's a vampire and she's having to deal with this change, but it feels more like there's more to it. This is just kind of the surface stuff. There's a deeper meaning here. And, it's about women, I guess, who always try to find, who are trying to evolve and change with their life, and maybe their husbands just don't agree or want them to change. They prefer to have that housewife, and she's trying to explore the world, get out and, see things. And, so it's a big metaphor throughout, this film. However, I really dug it. And once again, there's a little bit of humor thrown in there, very bloody, and oh my God, Barbara Crampton, still a fucking knockout. She's still a fucking knockout in 2021. My God. I love you, Barbara, if you're watching this. No, it's just, I think that's really why this works for me, probably more than anything else. It's because of the leads. I love both these main characters, or I love the actors that portray them. Big fan of both of them, and cool to see them, as husband and wife in this movie. And I think they both do really great. If I have any complaints, and I won't say no spoilers when I do these mini reviews, I for one personally didn't care for the ending. I felt like they should have went one way or another with it, and they just try to leave it open-ish. And I don't know. I didn't really like that because I felt like I wanted to see closure to this story, like I said, one way or another, and they just try to leave it this way. It's like, I don't know, neither person, to me, like, I felt like you should see both characters kind of grow, and we don't really see that in the end. Like, in the end, it's almost like they kind of, it's the same. Well, maybe she grew a little bit, but I don't know. I won't say nothing else. Check it out. The people at the Shudder community, they gave it 4 out of 5 skulls. I'm going to go 3 out of 5. This may be one of those that when I watch in the future, it may go up a little bit for me, but for right now, I'm going to leave it right there at 3 out of 5. But yeah, I definitely say check it out. Up next, it's my pick of the week. I watched another episode of Slasher, Flesh and Blood. This is from this season, this came out this year. This is the newest season. And the Slasher show has been out since 2016, I believe. It's a Canadian TV show, but it's now a Shudder original series because Shudder has the rights now to the 4th season. And this show right here, if you guys watch, most of you guys couldn't watch my video from last week because it's been blocked, but I gushed about this show last week, and I was just all about, I've only seen 2 episodes. I've never seen the first 3 seasons, so I have nothing to compare it to. I don't know. I just know as a standalone season, I am loving this show right now. Without really giving anything away, because a mini review for an episode's a little, more ridiculous, because I don't know, it's still going. But I really dug it. I thought, I liked where the story's going. I love the gore they show in this. Like, I was really shocked, the brutality and gruesomeness. I guess I shouldn't be too shocked because Channel Zero is also another Canadian TV show, and it was pretty gruesome and bloody and whatever. So I guess I shouldn't be too shocked, but I really was surprised by it. I guess I should say, you start seeing people getting their guts ripped out, and I won't go into details on this one, but literally, I was like, holy shit! And it's just continuing the story right now. I mean, we're still we're in the middle of the games. If you've been watching the show, rich old guy played by David Cronenberg. He's giving away the inheritance. He's giving away the money. He's giving away the empire, the family business, and only one person can win it. And he's pitting his family against each other. And for the most part, this family is just the worst fucking family. There's a few gems in there that you like, but most of them you're just like, I can't. Whoever plays the daughter, the redheaded daughter who has 3 kids or so, I hate that character. Whoever that actress is, she is doing a great job. And I don't mean I hate her. I think that actress is very talented because she is doing her job perfectly because she is making me hate her more and more in every episode. I guess not just her, the writers too. I mean, this is just a really well-written show. Like I said, it's a whodunit slasher type thing. I love it. So, I don't know. I mentioned last week because, the people on Shudder, the Shudder community, it's still standing at 5 out of 5 skulls. And last week, I gave the first 2 episodes 4 out of 5. We're bumping that motherfucker up. This is now a 5 out of 5 skulls show. I love it. Urge you to check it out. Pick of the week, Slasher, Flesh and Blood. So the next thing I watched, they have a special on here, and I am going to look at my notes. I'm sorry. This is it's the NYX 13 Minutes of Horror Film Fest. This is a short film festival. Even though it's 13 minutes of horror, it runs like 17 minutes. It's 13 one-minute shorts. All of them are directed by women, and the theme of the festival is folklore. And so folklore is, urban legends, myths, whatever you want to call it. That's the theme of it. So the one thing I want to get out of the way right now, first off the bat, is, when you go on Shudder and you watch a movie, sometimes you can see, or not sometimes, you can always see people's comments down below. People rank the movie. That's how the Shudder community, rating system works. But you can see people leave comments, and I was scrolling through the comments, and I was just kind of curious what people thought about this, and I was shocked at the amount of negative. And not necessarily you didn't like it, that's fine, you didn't like it, but just the reasons behind it, and I was like, people got to understand, this is literally a bunch of 1-minute shorts. It is tough to tell a complete story in 1 minute, and that's the thing my biggest con about this was, you had a lot of great concepts, but that was it. There wasn't enough time to really do anything with these concepts. I think given some time and money, any of these shorts could turn into something really good. However, just as it is, unfortunately, these are, it is what it is. And these 1-minute shorts, some of them are just kind of unrealized. And unfortunately, some of them aren't good. And I won't sugarcoat that. I'm not going to be like, oh, everyone's great and y'all get a gold score. No, I mean, some shorts suck. Some were really fun. I really liked some of them. I'm not going to go through all 13 of them. I'll just kind of hit the highlights for me, or the ones that kind of stood out. Felons was one that, it starts off, girl on her way to a party, texting, and it turns out there's some kind of urban legend in the woods. And I forget what it's called. But she's like, that's just a myth, but then of course you see it's not. That's a good example of one that I think has a great concept, but just the storyline, sort of the way it's shot, didn't really hook me into it. But I feel like, again, given the right time, and the production and the money and all like that, it could be a really good, story right there. Mending Fences was one that I really didn't care for. Again, good concept, but it was just at the end I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, what's going on? And I don't know. I was kind of thrown off a little bit by what the fuck I was viewing, and so I don't know. Mending Fences wasn't really one that I was huge on. Thereafter's another one that's kind of hit or miss. Again, cool concept, girls being chased through the woods by a mysterious figure kind of thing. I won't go into detail because once again, you really can't even give too many hints on these because it's only a minute long and it'll be easy to spoil them. There was one that was called Sylvanus Park. That one I really liked the concept again, but it's just like I didn't care for the short. I thought the idea was really cool, and I love without giving too much away, this girl is investigating this like haunted park woods area, but as she did, it's all through like Instagram stories, which again I like the concept of that. I think that's really unique. But it was less like what was going on and more just glitchy and like, oh no, it's clearly something paranormal, and I don't know. It didn't really have a big punch out ending like some of these had. Like some of them were like clearly just building to a punchline, and I'm okay with that. With a minute short, I want a good punchline at the end, and this one didn't really have it. But I mean, I thought it was really creepy. She'd be taking pictures, and they're like, well, "What's that gray thing in the corner?" And she's like, "What are you talking about? I don't see nothing." And you can see this little gray figure thing, and it's just like, holy shit. Sylvanus Park is one I'd recommend. I think that's one of the better ones. Again, cool concept, maybe wasn't executed the best, but I liked what I saw from that. Another one I liked was The Bystander. That's probably if Sylvanus Park's my number 3, my number 2 would have been The Bystander. I thought it was just really good, creepy, and a good story. And it told the story from like start to finish. Like it leaves it kind of in the end, but at the same time it's like I don't know. It told the story. I don't know. I liked it. I really liked it. I won't even talk about that one. Check it out. And then my favorite in the bunch was definitely Not Bloody Mary. And it just had nice humor to it, and it had a nice little kick out. It had a nice little punchline at the end, and I really dug that. Again, something I would like to see more of. So, anyways, it's 17 minutes altogether. Don't expect every fucking film to be like a James Wan horror masterpiece. It's not. These are amateur women who are just trying to get their foot in the door, and I think for the most part, most of them succeed. I think most of them, I hope, go on to have successful, runs here. Maybe not all of them, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to hate on them. These guys literally just threw a short together in a minute. And, the budget's not there, but they showed some real promise with what budget they did have, which in all cases probably wasn't much. So, people at Shudder, the community, they did give it 3 out of 5 skulls. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 only because the ones I mentioned that I really liked, there's a lot that just were middle of the road or just complete misses completely. And that's fine. I mean, that's what a film festival is. It's a lot of, it's a mixed bag. For me personally, I'm giving this whole thing a 2 out of 5, but that does not mean I don't say you shouldn't check it out yourself. Because I think you may discover something you may like, And finally, we're going to hit the last one, a bit of a weird one. Everything on here was like new release except for this one. This is an older movie. Movie is called A Field in England. This was 2013 British film. And basically, it took place during a civil war they had over there, and I don't know, 1600s. I'm guessing is what it probably is, 1700s, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on my British history. I'm not up to date on my American history. How sad is that? But anyways, this movie is about these 4 guys who during the Civil War basically like desert, the battle and all kind of take off, but they get captured by this, I don't know what you call it, a cultist, I guess, best way to describe it. He's into black magic and shit, and he's kind of enslaving them to find some treasure in this field. And that's pretty much the premise. I'll give anything away. This is a weird fucking movie. To me, this isn't really horror either. It's one of those like David Lynch, you can't quite define the genre, and I can see people just throwing it into horror because like, what else are you gonna throw it into? To me, it'd be more of a drama, I guess, but it definitely has elements of horror, sort of. It's a head trip of a movie. But I guess the whole thing was like, I guess I was wanting to go further. I was really wanting this thing to get really weird, and it goes a little bit, but for the most part, I don't know. Besides the ending being a little weird or whatever, for the most part, it isn't hard to follow. I guess I was wanting something really mind-fucking, where I was just like, what the fuck's going on? I don't even know my own existence. And, this is the first film I actually watched by Ben Wheatley. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've seen anything else from him. But he's a name I hear a lot. Like, and I know he did like Kill List and something else. It's like he's one of these guys who he's built a name for himself. In British cinema and just horror cinema in general. I just haven't yet seen anything else he's done. But I didn't want to check it out after watching this especially. I love the. Oh, it kind of has a throwback art house vibe to it. That's why I guess I can describe it. But it had a lot of dry humor, and I really dug that. Like I like that. These characters are very relatable for the most part, and that's kind of weird to say. You're like 17th century fucking soldiers and shit, and they're all speaking like Shakespearean Old English, but I could identify with most. I was like, oh yeah, this is fucking funny. I don't know. I dug a lot of it. And then, like I said, you kind of enter the fact that, they start doing shrooms at one point, and you're just like, you know what, yeah, I'm into this movie. So anyways, Filmed in England, the people at Shudder community gave it 4 out of 5. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5, only because I guess I was expecting just a little bit more. But that's not a knock against it. Like I said, I think it's one of those that I'd have to watch again to have it really kind of grow on me. It is very much I don't know what kind of budget they had, but the whole movie pretty much does take place in a field. I'm just telling you right now. I don't want anybody to watch it and be like, oh, you set it up differently. Like, it really is a field in England. They film it. It feels like a stage play is what you're watching. That's how, the dialogue's delivered that way, everything. I just imagine you can translate this to Broadway, or maybe not Broadway, but, the stage, and just have people kind of walking to one end of the stage to the other, and then turning around, walking back the other way, and just all the lines be delivered about the same way. And I don't know. I feel like it's more like it's more of a play. It feels like a play, like you're watching a play. But notwithstanding, the photography is beautiful, and you're seeing these big landscapes. I don't know. It is cool to see them out kind of in the elements and everything. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. So check it out. Brief recap here. We had Jakob's wife. We had Slasher, Flesh and Blood, episode 3. Definitely check that out. Pick of the week. We had the NYX 13 Minutes of Horror Film Fest. One of these. And then we had a Film in England. So, pretty good week as far as, like I said, last week was a rough week I had to get through. I'm sorry. I haven't got over that Amelia Moses double feature yet. So, anyways, but check these films out, and the shorts especially. And yeah, that's all I got. So guys, if you've seen any of these movies and want to talk about, because that's something I hate about this is nobody has Shudder in my neck of the woods. I'm just in Redneckville, USA. Nobody watches Shudder. No, and if they did, they just watch mainstream stuff. No one's wanting to watch this kind of these underground movies. Who's watching a film in England, in Bedford, Indiana? Fucking no one. So I want to talk about it. So if you've seen any of these movies, I want to hear what you have to say about it. Drop those comments down below. Or find me on social media. Hit us up there. So that's all I got. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time.